SLU News 22.
Do you think you have what it takes to make a short film?
A new pope becomes official this week.
SLU Billikens climbing to the top.
Ever wondered what your name tastes like?
Plus national news and weather live from the Bush Student Center. This is your SLU News 22.
Hi, I'm Amanda Honeycourt.
And I'm Ian Sullivan.
Thank you for joining us this evening. The number 16 ranked St. Louis Billikens are Atlantic 10 champions for the first time in the program's history. On Sunday, the Billikens defeated number 25 VCU with a 62-56 win. The Billikens stayed calm throughout the game despite the defensive pressure and the hostile crowd. Quamaine Mitchell scored 19 points, followed closely by tournament MVP Dwayne Evans with 16 points. SLU's 8 juniors and seniors, along with head coach Jim Cruz, led them to an exciting victory. We look forward to seeing the Billikens play in the NCAA tournament versus New Mexico State in San Jose, California.
The St. Louis University softball team cruised to an 8-2 victory over Loyola Chicago Friday morning after scoring 7 runs in the first inning. This was a great start to the Fighting Illini Invitational in Champaign. This was the Billikens' final regular season tournament of the year. They came out ahead, winning 2 of the 3 games they played, however, lost their final game to the Fighting Illini.
Sean is in our weather center now with the first forecast. Sean, do we have any chance of some warmer temperatures soon?
Well, Amanda, today is actually going to be the warmest day right now. We'll see for the next few days at least. Today, after the clouds moved out from that storm system yesterday, we reached a high of 50 out at Lambert, 49 here at SLU, but still well below normal. Right now, we're still looking pretty fine, 48 degrees, under mostly clear skies. The clouds will continue to move out tonight as we'll drop down to 28 degrees. I'll have my full forecast coming up in a few minutes, letting you know what it's going to be like as we begin spring on Wednesday.
Thank you, Sean.
Now that the spring 2013 semester is halfway finished, spring 2013 parking permits are half price. You can purchase them at the Parking and Card Services office in room 33 in the Berg Hall.
Do you like short films? Never made a short film but want to? SLU-TV's 72-hour film festival is now open for registration. Teams that include at least one SLU student, staff, or faculty member can register to create a short film 3 to 8 minutes in length. The films will be screened at the SLU 72 premiere, and there will be prizes for the winners. Teams can film over one of 4 upcoming weekends. The weekends are March 22nd to 25th, March 29th to April 1st, April 5th through 8th, April 12th through 14th. Equipment will be checked out at 5:30 p.m. on Friday and returned with the finished film at 5:30 p.m. on Monday. For more information or to sign up, please visit slutv.slu.edu/SLU72.
Global Brigades is celebrating World Water Day on March 22nd by selling bricks in the BSC all week to build a well for a rural Honduran family. Each brick costs $1, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the well project. Forte is holding their 3rd annual music supply drive this week. You can turn in any old music supplies and instruments to their table in the BSC. The drive supports music programs in the St. Louis area.
Relay for Life will be selling bagels in the quad on Tuesday, March 19th to help with fundraising for the relay. They will also be holding a 5K on Saturday, March 23rd at 8 p.m. Runners are encouraged to run in their pajamas. Visit Relay for Life SLU Groups page for more information. On Wednesday, March 20th, SLUFA will be holding a bake sale at the Ritter entrance to the BSC as part of Celebrate Africa Week. All proceeds will go directly to the schools in Ghana that SLUFA supports.
RHA will be holding bingo on Wednesday, March 20th in the Wool Ballrooms. Bingo starts at 6:30 p.m. Billikens After Dark and the Student Activities Board will be hosting The Price is Right in Carlo Auditorium on Saturday, March 23rd. The SLU version of this game show begins at 9 p.m. The Indian Student Association will be bringing the Uttarayan Kite Festival to SLU on Saturday, March 23rd. ISA will be providing kites and live music at Tagler Field from noon until 6 o'clock p.m.
Pay cuts, the new pope, and North Korean threats, along with more coming up. Don't go away.
We are all.
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 Billikens.
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 Billikens. Billikens.
Welcome back. Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill says she will take a pay cut in solidarity with the federal workers faced with furloughs due to the sequester. According to St. Louis Public Radio, McCaskill and Senator Bill Nelson of Florida have proposed a bill that will lessen congressional salaries when the furloughs begin. McCaskill says she wants lawmakers to be faced with real consequences for not coming up with an alternative to the sequester. I think it's important that those of us who can't get an agreement about a more thoughtful way to impose the cuts, that we should feel some of that pain too, McCaskill told reporters this week. She says if her bill fails, she will voluntarily take a cut in her pay in proportion to the federal workers who face furloughs.
A plan being considered in the Missouri State House proposes using state funds to help members of the State National Guard who would lose their federal tuition assistance as a result of sequester cuts. St. Louis Public Radio reports that the Missouri House Budget Committee has included a $1.5 million increase in tuition assistance to help the 905 Missouri Guardsmen who are currently using federal tuition aid in its budget recommendation for the fiscal year beginning July 1st. The U.S. Army, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard have suspended their assistance programs due to the automatic budget cuts.
A Chorus Line, the Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning musical, is back on tour with an all-new production. The Chorus Line is a story of 17 dancers trying to land their first job on Broadway. Each of the 17 dancers shares with us the stories of their lives and put it all on the line to win what they have worked for all their lives. They will be performing at the Peabody Opera House for 4 performances from March 21st through the 23rd, and ticket prices range from $22 to $92. Coming up next, your work week forecast. Stay with us. And welcome back. Chief Meteorologist Sean Everson is here with us now for our extended forecast. Sean, what are we going to see in terms of weather this week?
Well, if you're hoping that we'll have a warm start to spring, I'm sorry to be the spoiler, but that will not be the case this week, as we're going to head into a cooling trend for at least the next several days. Looking ahead for the weather story for the next few days, we'll see cooler air move in with another short wave of energy moving through that could produce some flurries on late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, but this will keep temperatures well below normal for this time of year for the start of spring. So looking at the storm track tomorrow into Wednesday, we have that system that moved through last night well off to our east. We'll have another weaker area of energy move through, bringing us that chance of flurries Tuesday night into Wednesday. If it starts a little early, we may see a few light sprinkles, but colder air will filter in but then an area of high pressure will build in, which will clear things up and give us plenty of sunshine, but unfortunately, it won't heat things up too much. Overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures drop below 30 degrees, mainly in the mid to upper 20s, 28 in St. Louis, 26 in Festus and Chesterfield, 27 out in Belleville and Waterloo. So for tomorrow, 47 degrees under mostly sunny skies, not too bad. Winds out of the west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Temperatures will continue to drop as we begin spring on Wednesday, officially a high of 38 degrees with some AM flurries. But then as the clouds move out in the PM hours, the sun will begin to shine once more. But looking ahead to our 5-day extended forecast, as you can see, we start spring on Wednesday, but there's not really any warmth there. The cooling trend, the warmest day of the week was today. We'll drop down tomorrow and get down into the 30s Wednesday and Thursday. But by Friday and the weekend, we'll start to rebound a little bit with temperatures back into the 40s. So we could see a little bit of light rain, light snow possibly tomorrow night into Wednesday, and then again possibly Friday night into Saturday. So unfortunately, everyone out on spring break went down south to the beaches and enjoyed very warm and summer-like temperatures, hoping that would move back here. They'd see the same when they came back after break, but that's just not the case. So
At least hopefully everybody got their fill during spring break, and we'll just pummel through this and build our way back up to the warmth, hopefully.
Hopefully. Thank you, Sean, for the forecast. Next, we have national and international news, including the new Pope, North Korean threats, and tasting the rainbow. Stay with us.
Are you bored with the Muggle world? Wishing you could go to Hogwarts instead? Good news, Potter fan! Dumbledore's Army at St. Louis University brings the magic of Hogwarts to you.
I'm very excited about Dumbledore's Army because I really enjoyed Harry Potter when I read it multiple times.
I only knew 1 or 2 people, but then I joined Dumbledore's Army and I found out that there are some of the coolest people you'll ever meet there. I can honestly say that some of my best friends are in Dumbledore's Army.
Welcome back. Heads of the Catholic Church elected a new leader last week. Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Argentina was elected by the College of Cardinals to be the 266th Pope. He is the first non-European Pope in over a millennium and also the first Jesuit Pope. He chose the name Pope Francis after St. Francis of Assisi. When speaking to the press on Saturday, he said that he wishes to create, quote, a poor church for the poor. The official mass to install Pope Francis as the Bishop of Rome will take place Tuesday the 19th.
Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky won the presidential straw poll at the Conservative Political Action Conference on Saturday. This poll is considered to be a way to judge the popularity of potential Republican presidential nominees. Paul won with 25% of the vote, only slightly ahead of Senator Marco Rubio. The ballot included 23 popular Republicans, and 3,000 votes were cast.
China said Monday that the United States plans to increase its missile defenses against North Korea are likely to inflame tensions that are running high over Pyongyang's nuclear program. U.S. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel announced Friday that the U.S. would deploy additional ground-based missile interceptors on the West Coast as part of efforts to better defend itself from North Korean attacks. The U.S. announcement came after North Korea recently threatened a preemptive nuclear attack on South Korea and the United States in response to stepped-up UN Security Council sanctions over North Korea's latest nuclear test.
On March 19, 2003, President Bush announced U.S. and coalition forces had begun military action against Iraq. Now, 10 years later, we mourn the loss of over 4,000 soldiers who have lost their lives in the fight. A recent Gallup poll has found that over 53% of Americans see the war as an expensive mistake.
The South and West were some of the fastest growing areas of the United States in the past year, according to new data from the Census Bureau. Urban areas are growing in popularity, while the popularity of rural areas has declined over the last year. The U.S. population has only grown by 0.75% last year, and this is the lowest rate since 1937.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to actually taste the rainbow? People diagnosed with synesthesia, a neurological condition in which one sense, such as sight, for example, produces a completely different sense, such as taste. According to researcher Sean Day, nearly 1 in 27 people has some form of synesthesia. 1% of that group experiences crossovers within food and drink. British IT consultant James Wannerton, president of the UK Synesthesia Association, describes his experience with words, sounds, and colors as having an eyedropper of taste sort of dripped on your tongue, constantly, just one after another after another. Even names will have a taste. Wannerton admits some names taste better than others, and he will actually try to avoid saying certain names due to their bitter taste. He described the name Audrey, for example, as tasting similar to tinned tomatoes. Though he claims the condition is absolutely ludicrous, he and others with the condition all enjoy it and see it as an added bonus.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah, and he actually described going to a restaurant as very confusing because there's all these other sounds and everything, so his experience in tasting food is just so convoluted when they're in a restaurant, so he has to kind of eat by himself, and he really, he just described shapes as giving him a taste in his mouth. It's really bizarre, but very cool, actually.
Don't hear that every day.
No, you don't. You don't. I wish you did.
Not at all.
Well, if you're hoping for warmer temperatures as we begin spring on Wednesday, you're out of luck, as the next week we'll see cooler, but well below average temperatures, at least to the start of next week. So hopefully after Easter break, the Easter Bunny will bring us some warmer temperatures and make it feel like spring, if not summer. So I think we're all ready for a warm-up now as we head into the end of March and the beginning of April. So.
Yes, indeed. That would be a nice Easter surprise.
Well, that's our show for the night. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget, you can always get the latest movie reviews and news online at SLU-TV.slu.edu or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back here next week at 7 p.m. Have a good week.